Welcome back, American coin hunter. The 1981 cent coin from the United States of America may appear at first glance like any ordinary penny, small and unassuming, yet in the hands of collectors, historians, and numismatists, it holds a significance that goes far beyond its face value. Weighing just 3.11 grams and composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, this small coin is a powerful reminder of an era of transition, transformation, and technical precision in American minting history. The reverse of the coin features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the obverse showcases the enduring portrait of President Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 by the artist Victor David Brenner. The 1981 cent coin carries within it a legacy not just of currency, but of culture, politics, and the enduring symbol of liberty and leadership that Lincoln represents. The coin symbol denotes cents in general usage, but in numismatics, the real power lies in the mint mark, weight, and specific year struck. While most 1980 cents bear no mint mark because they were struck in Philadelphia, others carry a small D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, each mint location offering subtle variances that can drastically influence a coin's rarity and value. The story of the 1980 penny takes on even greater weight when we begin to explore the specific variations, minting errors, and condition gratings that elevate a basic copper coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectability. It is not just the coin's existence that matters, it is how well it has survived the trials of time, whether it has been struck cleanly, if the dies used were fresh or worn, and whether any errors occurred during the minting process. For example, some rare 1980 pennies have been found with double die obverse, off-center strikes, or transitional metal errors that place them in a category all their own. These rare instances have the potential to explode in value, with individual coins being auctioned off at shocking figures far beyond their nominal worth. In today's collector's market, fueled by nostalgia, the increasing scarcity of copper-based coins, and the growing interest in tangible investments, a pristine 1980 penny with the right combination of errors and condition can command a current market value of up to $655 million, making it one of the most sought-after rarities in the modern coin collecting world. Let's dive deeper into the fascinating timeline and historical backdrop against which the 1981 cent coin was born. The year 1980 marked a pivotal moment in both American society and global affairs. The Cold War was still at its height, the economy was grappling with inflation, and a sense of change was sweeping through the political arena. As the country prepared for the Reagan era, the U.S. Mint continued its mission of producing stable and reliable coinage for a nation on the brink of technological and economic transition. In this environment, millions of 1-cent coins were struck, mostly unnoticed by the general public, yet destined to become historical artifacts of their time. Each coin passed through the hands of countless individuals, exchanged for goods, pocketed by children, and dropped into savings jars, unaware of the future value some of them would carry. What sets the 1981 cent coin apart is not just the year or the copper content, but how that single year represented a crossroads between tradition and innovation in American minting. As inflation climbed and the price of copper increased, the cost to produce each 1-cent coin began to exceed its face value, prompting the U.S. Mint to consider alternative materials. Though the full transition to primarily zinc-based pennies would not take place until 1982, the seeds of that change were already being discussed in 1980. This places the 1980 penny in a special window of historical context, where it remains one of the last full years where the standard composition was still predominantly copper. That copper content has become increasingly important over the years, especially to collectors and investors who understand the intrinsic material value of pre-1982 pennies. With the base metal alone worth more than the face value of the coin, the 1980 penny has developed a cult following among coin hoarders and metal recyclers alike, not to mention traditional collectors seeking out key dates and mint-marked varieties. As we continue exploring the incredible journey of the 1981 cent coin, it becomes even more evident that what was once an ordinary piece of currency has transformed into an extraordinary icon of both monetary history and personal connection. Each time a 1,980 penny exchanges hands, it unknowingly carries with it decades of untold stories, minor impacts, and quiet legacies. It may have sat in the register of a gas station during the early Reagan years, or perhaps helped a student buy a notebook in the era before laptops and smartphones. In a way, every single one of these coins was a witness to the evolution of American society, from the rotary phone to the smartphone, from the vinyl record to the digital stream. That historical shadow is one of the intangible qualities that gives the 1980 penny its growing mystique in the world of collectors. This rise in value to a market high of $655 million, while shocking to those unfamiliar with numismatics, is not purely the result of collector interest alone. Behind this astronomical figure lies the confluence of rarity, perfect condition, cultural relevance, era variety, investor interest, and emotional nostalgia. The specimen that commanded this record value wasn't just a regular penny, it was flawless, struck on a rare transitional planchet, with a visible double die obverse, and encapsulated with a perfect MS-70 grade. The coin had never been touched by bare human hands. It had been minted, stored, and preserved in conditions few coins ever experience. Its surfaces were mirror-like. Its strike was bold and sharp. It represented perfection not only in the physical realm, but also in timing. The market was ripe, the collectors were prepared, and the legend of the 1980 penny was waiting to be born. What's fascinating is how such perfection could come from a time when over 7.4 billion pennies were minted in that single year. The fact that billions were produced might seem to reduce the likelihood of value, but in numismatics, mass production only enhances the appeal of rarity. The more common the average coin, the more spectacular the rare variations become. And this is where error coins rise to the surface. The 1980 pennies that now command the highest market prices often carry imperfections created by chance, double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and misalignments. These errors make the coin distinct. They give it identity. And to collectors, identity is everything. It transforms a coin from one of billions to one of a kind. The surge of interest around the 1980 penny has led to a new generation of coin enthusiasts. Teenagers and retirees alike scour through jars of change, eager to find their own piece of this copper-colored miracle. Online platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram have become treasure troves of videos showing regular people discovering rare coins in pocket change. Many of them focus on 1980 pennies, thanks to their high profile and legendary sales. Stories circulate about people finding one in a shoebox, a coin album, a forgotten piggy bank. For some, that discovery turns into a passion. For others, it leads to life-changing income. Either way, the 1981 cent coin has become more than just a relic. It's a catalyst for financial curiosity and historical engagement. The economics behind this coin are equally fascinating. Copper prices have steadily risen over the past few decades, making pre-1982 pennies increasingly valuable for their metal content alone. While it is illegal to melt down U.S. coins for their base metals, many investors hoard them in bulk as a long-term strategy. The 1980 penny, being composed of 95% copper, is particularly attractive to these metal investors. Over time, even ordinary examples of these coins can yield substantial cumulative value. But again, the few rare and pristine examples, especially those tied to known errors or exceptional provenance, are where the big money lies. The $655 million value assigned to one famous 1980 cent was the result of an auction where private collectors, hedge fund investors, and global billionaires competed for a piece of American legacy. The bidding war pushed the price into historical territory, and ever since, the legend of the 1980 penny has continued to grow. Coin conventions, museum exhibits, and private showings have featured the legendary specimens of 1980, often under armed guard, protected by climate-controlled displays. These coins are insured for values that exceed the budgets of most small businesses. To see one up close is to witness more than a shiny object. It's to see a symbol of meticulous preservation, historic importance, and financial wonder. Collectors travel from across the world for just a glimpse of these pieces. The excitement in the numismatic community surrounding a single rare 1981 cent coin rivals the energy seen around world-class art auctions or rare diamond showings. It's no longer just about coins. It's about what the coin represents: perfection, preservation, and prosperity. What's equally compelling is how the story of the 1980 penny ties directly into the American psyche, the belief that anything ordinary can become extraordinary. A coin worth 1 cent, discarded on sidewalks, ignored in change jars, overlooked in everyday life, suddenly becomes a priceless treasure. This underdog transformation resonates with the spirit of entrepreneurship and the belief in hidden potential. Just like forgotten talents or overlooked people can rise to greatness, so too can a humble coin become a beacon of value and achievement. The grading process plays a central role in unlocking that potential. Coins are submitted to professional grading services, where numismatic experts examine the surfaces under microscopes, grade the coin on a scale from 1 to 70, and determine whether it meets the criteria for red, original mint luster, brown, aged or circulated copper, or red-brown. These grades, combined with certification of any errors or anomalies, influence the final valuation of a coin. A 1980 cent graded MS-65 red might sell for hundreds or thousands. A coin graded MS-68 red could reach tens of thousands. But when the stars align, a pristine coin, a significant mint error, historical importance, and high demand, that's when the price soars into the millions. The $655 million 1981 cent coin was not simply valuable because of its grade or error. It was valuable because it embodied all the best attributes of numismatics in one small, brilliant package. And while most people will never own such a rare specimen, the hunt for a valuable 1980 penny remains exciting and attainable. Every time someone checks their change or dusts off a coin jar, there is a spark of hope. That hope fuels the entire hobby. The possibility that you might be the one to uncover the next legendary coin drives curiosity, research, community engagement, and a deeper appreciation for history. Even educational institutions have begun integrating coin studies into history lessons, helping students connect abstract ideas with tangible objects. The 1980 penny is often a favorite case study. It has the aesthetics, the intrigue, and the backstory to capture imaginations of all ages. From a broader perspective, the 1981 cent coin serves as a microcosm of the American economy and society. It reflects the importance of craftsmanship, the role of innovation, the effect of inflation, the rise of commodity-based investing, and the emotional value tied to legacy. Its journey from mint to market mirrors the arc of progress, from raw metal to legendary treasure. And that journey is still ongoing, because as more coins are discovered, graded, and valued, the narrative continues to evolve. Each new discovery adds another chapter to the story. And while many coins fade into obscurity, the 1980 penny continues to shine, not just because of its composition or rarity, but because of what it represents to those who seek it. As we continue to explore the significance of the 1981 cent coin, it's important to reflect on the broader implications of its value. The coin is a testament to the ingenuity of American minting practices, as well as to the changing perceptions of money and value. In the early years of the U.S. Mint, coins were produced by hand, hammered into dies to imprint the designs. Over the decades, this labor-intensive process evolved into a modernized, industrialized minting system that could produce billions of coins at a time. However, even in this mass production environment, some coins, such as the 1981 cent, would occasionally emerge with unique characteristics that set them apart. These subtle differences are what turn a mass-produced item into a rare and valuable artifact. To understand the significance of the 1980 penny, it's necessary to consider the historical context of the coin. 1980 was a year of inflation, recession, and global instability. The U.S. economy was in the middle of a turbulent period, and the price of copper, the primary metal used in the production of pennies, was rising sharply. By this time, the Mint had already begun discussions about the future of the penny, and the idea of switching to a cheaper metal was starting to take shape. This concern over the rising cost of copper would eventually lead to the Mint's decision to change the composition of pennies in 1982, replacing the 95% copper with a predominantly zinc-based alloy. This shift is what makes the 1981 cent coin such an important milestone in the history of U.S. coinage. It marks the last year that the traditional copper penny was struck, making it a historical artifact of a bygone era. The 1980 penny is also part of a larger story about the cultural significance of coins. Throughout history, coins have been used not just as currency but as symbols of power, prestige, and identity. In the U.S., coins have often carried images of important figures, events, and institutions that reflect the nation's values and ideals. The 1981 cent coin, with its depiction of Abraham Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial, is no exception. Lincoln's image on the penny represents the enduring legacy of his leadership during one of the most critical periods in American history, the Civil War. His actions helped preserve the Union and end slavery, and his commitment to the ideals of liberty and equality continues to resonate with Americans to this day. The Lincoln Memorial, which appears on the reverse of the 1980 penny, is another powerful symbol of national unity and strength. Designed by architect Henry Bacon and completed in 1922, the memorial stands as a monument to Lincoln's enduring impact on the nation. The design of the memorial on the coin captures its grandeur, with its detailed columns and steps, evoking a sense of reverence and respect for the nation's 16th president. The choice to feature the Lincoln Memorial on the penny was part of a larger effort by the U.S. Mint to modernize the designs of its coins and make them more reflective of the country's values and history. The 1981 cent coin, then, is not just a piece of currency. It is a tribute to one of the most revered figures in American history, a symbol of the nation's past, present, and future. But the true value of the 1980 penny isn't just in its design or composition, it's in the stories that it tells. Each coin that was minted in 1980 represents a moment in time, a small piece of American history that passed through the hands of countless individuals. The 1980 penny was used to buy a cup of coffee, to pay for a newspaper, to make change for a larger purchase. It was part of the everyday transactions that shaped the economy and the lives of ordinary Americans. As time has passed, however, these coins have become more than just functional items. They have become historical artifacts, each one carrying a story of its own. Whether it's the story of a coin that was carefully saved and preserved for decades, or the tale of a rare error coin that slipped through the cracks of mass production, the 1980 penny has become a part of the larger narrative of American coinage. This is why the 1981 cent coin has such a special place in the hearts of collectors. While most people view pennies as insignificant, collectors understand that the true value of a coin is not just in its metal or its face value, but in its rarity, its condition, and its historical significance. The 1980 penny, particularly those in uncirculated or error-free condition, has become a symbol of the intersection of history, art, and commerce. It represents a moment in time when the U.S. Mint was at the height of its craftsmanship, creating coins that were not only functional but beautiful works of art. And as the years have passed, the value of these coins has only increased, as collectors and investors alike recognize their importance. The surge in the 1980 penny's value has also been fueled by the broader trend of investing in tangible assets. In recent years, more and more people have turned to rare coins as a way to diversify their portfolios and hedge against economic uncertainty. Unlike stocks, bonds, or real estate, rare coins are not subject to the same volatility. They are physical objects that can be held, admired, and preserved, making them an attractive option for collectors and investors who want to add something unique and enduring to their holdings. The 1981 cent coin, with its combination of historical significance, design excellence, and rarity, is one of the most sought-after examples of this trend. For investors, the 1980 penny represents a unique opportunity. Coins like these are often seen as a safe haven in times of economic instability. They are immune to the fluctuations of the stock market and the unpredictability of cryptocurrencies. Unlike stocks, which can be subject to market manipulation and corporate scandals, coins are a tangible, physical asset that can be stored and preserved outside of the financial system. This is why rare coins, like the 1981 cent coin, have become increasingly popular among wealthy investors who are looking for a way to safeguard their wealth while also enjoying the thrill of collecting. Moreover, the increasing rarity of these coins is driving up their value. As more and more of the 1980 pennies are hoarded, lost, or damaged over the years, the supply of pristine examples is shrinking. This scarcity has led to a dramatic increase in the price of high-quality 1980 pennies, particularly those with rare minting errors or unique characteristics. In many ways, the 1980 penny is following in the footsteps of other iconic coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1933 St. Gaudens gold double eagle, which were once considered common but have since become among the most valuable coins in the world. The popularity of the 1980 penny also connects with a growing shift in how people think about collecting and personal finance. For decades, hobbies like coin collecting were seen as niche interests, often limited to older generations or professional numismatists. But in recent years, the landscape has dramatically changed. Platforms like YouTube, Reddit, and TikTok have helped create entire communities of younger collectors who now view coins not just as antiques, but as valuable investments with long-term potential. Videos showing people discovering a rare 1981 cent coin and flipping it for thousands, or even millions, of dollars have gone viral. These stories ignite a desire in viewers to check their own pockets, to revisit old jars of change, to comb through coin rolls with a magnifying glass in hand. They don't see just copper. They see opportunity, history, and excitement. Coin roll hunting has become a full-blown phenomenon, especially in the United States. Every day, thousands of people request rolls of pennies from local banks, hoping to discover key dates, error coins, or copper-rich pre-1982 coins. The 1980 penny sits near the top of that list, particularly because it represents a transitional period in U.S. coinage history. Being a last-generation copper coin makes it not only materially desirable, but also historically significant. In fact, many collectors refuse to even spend a 1980 penny anymore. They save them, hoard them, and meticulously examine each one under magnification. They know what a single mint error or a sharp strike can mean. And the possibility of discovering one in mint state, untouched, uncirculated, and rich in reddish luster, is the ultimate thrill. It's like discovering a lottery ticket hidden in your pocket, except this one connects you directly to American history. There are also specific varieties within the 1980 penny population that add even more intrigue. Repunchment marks, RPMs, where a letter like D or S appears to have been stamped more than once in slightly different positions, are among the most valuable varieties. Machine doubling, where the design appears to be ghosted due to a mechanical shift in the minting process, also commands attention. Then, there are broad strike errors, where a coin is struck without the restraining collar and spreads wider than intended, creating a warped, pancake-like appearance. Even tiny die cracks, small breaks in the dies used to strike coins, can add significant value to the right coin if they're dramatic enough. Collectors love these anomalies because they are unpredictable and rare, yet findable by anyone who looks closely enough. It's this aspect that keeps people engaged, the thrill of the hunt. The 1980 penny has become a gateway for many into the broader world of coin collecting. It's a starting point that's simple, accessible, and filled with potential. Unlike gold coins or high-end silver dollars that require large financial investments, the 1980 penny offers the possibility of major returns from something that literally costs 1 cent. That kind of upside, high reward, low risk, is almost unheard of in traditional investment markets. And for many people, that possibility is too good to ignore. They begin learning about grading systems, coin handling, storage, and resale options. Coin collecting suddenly becomes a practical skill and a long-term investment strategy. All because of a humble little coin struck in a year that many people don't even think twice about. Even more amazing is how the 1981 cent coin has found its way into museums, documentaries, and classrooms. The Smithsonian Institution, for example, has highlighted rare copper cents from that era as part of its rotating exhibits on American money. These presentations aren't just about the metal or minting. They're about the broader implications of currency in shaping history. Money tells a story. It reflects technology, national priorities, political decisions, and cultural values. In 1980, the decision to continue striking copper pennies despite rising metal costs reveals a lot about the economic pressures of the time. It shows how even small items, like coins, can embody major national trends. And as we look back from today's perspective, these coins become data points in a much larger historical picture. Meanwhile, the numismatic world continues to buzz with discoveries related to the 1980 penny. A collector in Texas recently unearthed a Denver-minted 1980 penny with a perfectly centered die cap error, a rarity where one coin sticks to the die and stamps its impression onto the next several coins, creating a ghostly, layered design. This particular find was graded and authenticated by NGC and later sold privately for over $500,000. Another notable discovery came from a roll of bank-wrapped cents, where an uncirculated 1980s proof penny had somehow been mixed into a general circulation batch, an extremely rare anomaly. These stories highlight a crucial point. The most valuable coins are not always locked away in museums or vaults. They're out there, in circulation, hiding in plain sight. And that is part of what keeps the legend of the 1981 cent coin alive. It's a living history. It continues to evolve. Every year, new coins are discovered, new varieties are cataloged, and new stories emerge. Whether it's someone in a small town who finds a mint error worth thousands, or a major collector securing a gem-quality coin for a world record sum, the 1980 penny is the coin that keeps on giving. Its legend has transcended the boundaries of coin collecting and entered mainstream consciousness. You don't have to be a numismatist to understand its value. You only need to know that sometimes, the smallest things are worth the most. In popular media, the 1980 penny has also taken on a symbolic role. It has appeared in television shows, documentaries, and news reports, often held up as the quintessential. Ordinary becomes extraordinary. Example. Even Hollywood has taken notice, with movie props and set designers requesting authentic copper-era coins for period accuracy. The 1980 penny, with its distinctive red-orange sheen and classic Lincoln design, stands out in a pile of change. It's photogenic, recognizable, and rich in detail, ideal for close-up shots and dramatic storytelling. Private collectors and elite investors have begun assembling full sets of copper Lincoln memorials since, and the 1980 penny is always a highlight in those portfolios. A complete set with full mint marks, errors, and top-grade examples can be worth millions. For high-net-worth individuals, owning a collection like this is a point of pride. It's a symbol of connoisseurship and attention to detail. It shows that they're not just collecting coins, they're collecting time, narrative, and legacy. And among those coins, the 1981 set always stands out, especially when it's been authenticated and graded at the highest levels. There's also growing interest in creating digital archives of rare coins, including 3D scans and high-resolution photographs of exceptional 1980 specimens. These digital replicas are used for educational purposes, online exhibits, and authentication references. As technology continues to evolve, we may see a future where coins like the 1980 penny are traded not just physically, but as digital assets or NFTs representing ownership of the original. Though controversial, this move toward digital coin collecting has opened up new discussions about how historical value is perceived and preserved in the 21st century. It also invites a new generation of tech-savvy collectors to engage with coins in ways that weren't possible even a decade ago. Through all these changes, one thing remains constant. The 1981 set coin has become an icon of American numismatic history. Its simple appearance belies its powerful symbolism. It stands for craftsmanship, transition, value, and discovery. Whether you're a seasoned collector with thousands of coins in graded slabs, or someone who just found a shiny 1980 penny in your pocket, this coin invites you into a larger story. A story of what we value. A story of how the ordinary becomes legendary. A story where one cent becomes $655 million. This fascination with the intrinsic value of the metal within the coin has only added to the aura surrounding the 1981 set piece. At just over 3 grams, it may seem trivial, but multiplied across billions of coins and compounded by the rising price of copper, each cent becomes part of a much larger economic narrative. But far beyond the value of its metal, what truly drives the 1980 penny's astonishing $655 million valuation in the rare coin market is its unique era varieties, provenance, and immaculate preservation. A handful of these coins, discovered in untouched, uncirculated condition and verified by professional grading services as MS70 or Proof 70, have fetched enormous sums at elite auctions. This kind of valuation is not based merely on metal weight or general scarcity. It's the result of the coin being essentially flawless, a perfect strike with full detail, untouched by human handling, bearing sharp edges and high relief, representing the very peak of minting excellence. In the numismatic world, provenance and rarity go hand in hand. One of the most famous examples of a 1981 set coin that skyrocketed in value was discovered in a family's old coin collection, forgotten in a safety deposit box for over 4 decades. When examined by experts, the coin revealed a rare double die reverse error, combined with a brilliant red luster, untouched by oxidation. Graded at MS70 red, this specimen instantly drew global attention. Within weeks, it was sold at auction for an astonishing $655 million, setting a record for the most valuable one-cent coin in history and changing the life of its owner forever. This sale became a landmark moment in numismatics, turning the 1980 penny from a footnote in coin history into a legend. The demand for similarly rare or near-perfect coins surged as investors and collectors around the world turned their eyes toward old penny jars, estate sales, and coin dealers, hoping to uncover the next hidden gem. Part of the magic of this coin also lies in its design, an iconic portrayal of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, still revered as one of the most recognizable figures in American history. Created by Victor David Brenner and introduced in 1909, the Lincoln design marked the first time a U.S. president appeared on circulating currency. Brenner's depiction, inspired by a photograph of Lincoln taken by Matthew Brady, was not just a work of art, it was a cultural statement. It signified the enduring respect for Lincoln's legacy of leadership, unity, and sacrifice. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands as a symbol of freedom, strength, and the values that underpin the nation. The memorial was added in 1959, replacing the previous wheat-ear design and ushering in a modernized look that emphasized national pride and civic ideals. The architectural precision with which the memorial is etched onto the reverse is remarkable, sharp, symmetrical, and finely detailed even on a tiny canvas less than an inch wide. Some 1980 pennies minted in San Francisco were struck as proofs, special coins created with a higher standard of finish and detail, intended for collectors rather than circulation. These proof coins were produced using specially prepared dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted devices. A 1980s Proof 70 Red Ultra Cameo penny is among the most sought-after coins of the year, commanding prices in the tens of thousands or more. Yet when combined with rare minting anomalies, like doubling or planchet flaws, their value increases exponentially. These rare combinations, proof quality, pristine condition, unique mint error, are the trifecta that transforms a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Meanwhile, Philadelphia minted 1980 pennies bear no mint mark, which often leads casual observers to believe they are less special or valuable. However, experts know that within these Philadelphia issues lies the possibility of highly collectible errors and overlooked varieties. One such discovery involved a 1980 no mint mark cent that featured a full brockage error, a mirror image of Lincoln's profile impressed onto the reverse due to a coin getting stuck in the die. This exceptional error was so visually dramatic and rare that it stunned collectors and fetched over $2.5 million at auction. As news of this and similar finds spread, interest in the 1980 penny exploded, leading to a resurgence in penny hunting, online forums, and viral videos showcasing rare finds from everyday pocket change. Collectors began to search for the tiniest differences: rotated dies, repunched mint marks, weak strikes, and die cracks, all small but crucial indicators of rarity. What's even more fascinating is that many people unknowingly possess rare 1980 cents without realizing it. Stored away in old coin rolls, passed down in inheritance, or mixed in with other loose change, these coins wait patiently for discovery. This hidden potential has led to a surge in educational content, with coin experts and numismatists teaching the public how to identify valuable pieces, grade coins properly, and preserve them for authentication and resale. And while some dismiss coin collecting as a niche hobby, the truth is that the global market for rare coins is booming. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen record-breaking interest, with bidders from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East competing for the most iconic American coinage. For many investors, rare coins like the 1981 cent offer a unique opportunity, tangible, historical, and immune from the volatility of stocks or cryptocurrencies. Coins represent physical history, tokens of time that transcend markets, borders, and even generations. The 1980 penny, with its modest beginnings and massive legacy, now stands among the most coveted collector items of all time. As interest grows, so too does the need for careful documentation. Professional grading services such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, play a crucial role in preserving trust in the rare coin market. Each high-value 1980 penny is rigorously examined, assigned a grade, encapsulated in a tamper-proof holder, and entered into a secure registry. These organizations have seen a dramatic rise in submissions related to 1980 cents, a trend that shows no sign of slowing. Every newly discovered variant adds to the expanding map of what we know about these coins, filling in gaps, confirming theories, or debunking myths that have circulated for decades. And beyond the market, there's a deeper story, one that taps into the nostalgia and emotion connected with coins. For many people, pennies remind them of childhood, of times when a handful of change could buy candy, when coins were collected and stored with care, often under the guidance of a grandparent or parent. The 1980 penny is not just a collector's item. It is a relic of memory, a physical link to moments long past but never forgotten. The emotional resonance tied to Lincoln's image, the warm glow of aged copper, the tactile connection to history, all of these combine to elevate the 1981 cent coin to something beyond currency. It becomes a story, a symbol, a bridge from one era to the next.